All right. So from what I have gathered, some of the information that I've been looking into, um, when people talk about Frostpunk 2, they should really look into the fact that this is going to be an entirely more dynamic city builder with all the elements from Frostpunk 1 built in. So what I'm saying is that if you see an article that says the generator power is at 1000%, all the current community goals have been reached. This is really saying to you that with the
They could have like leisure buildings and other things like that expanded upon, like wonders, like massive buildings that will take massive amounts of resources to build, but could bring large beneficial benefits to the society.
agreed.
Like you could have a major like Zeppelin port, or a major power generator, or a major medical facility, or um, a major gardening, like revive the green world in this patch of land or something like that. I can see a lot of them do a lot in the right scenario.
Yeah, because what I was saying is that what I was really looking at when it comes to like the Frostpunk universe adaptation and the development of Frostpunk 2, leisure buildings and buildings that serve other purposes apart from being buildings related to, as I would say, specific functions would be integral into the development of the game, because the mere fact that you're putting in social and humanitarian, well, I wouldn't say humanitarian, but human needs having a role to play in the
I can
level
see the economic system come into
right.
play, money return in trading with other smaller cities. I can see diplomacy. I can see fire. I can see medical. I can see medical's in the first one. I can see police.
Yeah, because
Police. I can see a lot of things come back, and also an expansion on the religions. It will be more like a Norse mythology sort of thing. The religions. So we'll be leaning heavily towards a mixture of Norse and Christianity, from what I'm gathering.
well,
For
agreed.
old Celtic religions, it could vary dramatically.
And based on the location of where the generators are. From what I also understand, that there are also multiple groups of individuals that are living within the Frostland. Some of these individuals are of American descent, others are of French descent, and others are of British descent. And we don't know if there are groups in between. Nansen was also somebody about, I'm not sure, I don't have it in my head, but I believe he was.
Here's a bit of a controversial thing. Due to the fact of that and due to the time period, there won't be many people of color as a result of that scenario.
I
I'm just
wouldn't
being
say that.
historically accurate at with that statement.
As a
It's
matter.
like Kingdom Come Deliverance, like
Right.
like they were doing a historical flick. But they could flex it a bit. I don't know. Oh,
It's it's
well,
there's a possibility that we might see that. There is a possibility of it actually being a
but
thing.
it's unlikely.
Yeah, it
Likely
is.
due to the historical factors.
It would have to be in an extreme case where a set of people from different nations were brought to the city, like a couple diplomats from different nations, and their entourage, or whatever you call it, their staff somehow managed to end up on a land dreadnought on their way to the generator sites. But the thing is,
Not likely given the ancient view of Europeans' view on ethnic groups. Sorry, back then they used to hate the Irish and the Italians and stuff like that.
well,
Racism in ancient Europe was quite bad. But every generation racism changes a little. Uh, like like nowadays, we don't even bat an eye if you're part Irish. But back then, it was a big deal. Mm.
that's true. That it could be a sense where some people might have some form of discrimination against others based on their I would say their ethnic background and way of life and culture. But some of these things are actually in Frostpunk. If you remember the Edge, the people living in New London viewed the individuals living on the outposts as inferior to them. And we can also see this in the refugees, where the lords viewed the refugees as beneath them. And eventually there was a
The
sit down,
generators were meant for them to survive, not the workers.
not the
That's
workers.
why the lowly peasants who built the generator.
So
Basically, in that scenario, the poor people stole the location plans of the generator